What's up, beautiful people? Have you ever gotten paid and you're like, I feel pretty good. And then like 2 days later, you're like, where is all my money gone? Or how is it that I even make this amount of money and yet I still feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck? Well, today we are going to get all up in the business and we are going to learn how to budget. Look, I'm not going to tell you 25 million reasons why budgeting works and why you need to do it. You know you need to do it. That's why you clicked on this video. That's why you're still watching. But how to budget is a completely different scenario. So let's deep dive into the how to budget. So today I'm going to show you zero-based budgeting. You can fight me. You can fight anybody you want to. I know this is the best. Absolutely best way to budget. So we're going to talk about how to zero-based budget. I'm going to explain to you exactly what that means in just a second. We're going to talk about our long-term goals, which are going to be an emergency fund. And wait for it, you are going to get yourself so far ahead with your savings that you are going to be a month ahead of all of your bills. So that means when September the 1st comes around, all of the money that you made in August is for September's bills, and everything that you get paid in September is for October bills. So what is zero-based budgeting? It doesn't mean that you have $0. So let's get that off the table first and foremost. What zero-based budgeting means is that every dollar has a job in your budget. That means when you do your budget at the beginning of the month or whenever you do it, every single dollar you get paid is allocated to a category. If you have $1,000, you're going to budget all 1,000 of those dollars. Even if you have money left over after you've paid your bills and expenses, that money must be allocated somewhere. So think of it as every dollar has a job, every penny has a destination when we're talking about zero-based budgeting. This is what turns budgeting from guessing to decision making. So here's the first mind shift that we're making. We are not budgeting money that we hope to get. We're not budgeting money that is not allocated to come our way. We're only going to budget the actual dollars that are in our possession. And that one shift helps you move from future money to today's money. And that will help create stability. Before anything fancy, we're going to build our 4 walls. We have to have these 4 walls. These are our 4 walls of stability. The first wall is going to be your housing, which is your rent and or mortgage. Your second wall is going to be the things that you need: utilities, water, light, phone. These are the things that you have to have in order to live a day-to-day life. 3, this is gonna be food, nourishment, things you put in your body. Notice, this is groceries, this is preparation, this is not restaurants. That's a different type of category. And the 4th one is gonna be transportation. So that's gonna be your car note, your car insurance, gas, fuel, fare if you're taking the subway. This is how you get from A to B and move around in life. So your 4 pillars are the foundation of your budget. We start there. And if your money is tight, we're not starting with fun and perfect. We're starting with stability and survival. So the next mindset I want you to think about, that your bills don't always happen weekly, but they do always happen. So these are things that I want you to think about that may be annual, like car insurance, annual subscriptions, back to school, Christmas holidays, Thanksgiving, summer travel, co-pays, car repairs. Car repairs is an excellent example, your car registration. But these are things that you're gonna happen. So we're gonna acknowledge that those things occur. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're going to assign a budget to your 4 walls. So we're going to use a hypothetical budget of someone that makes $2,500 every 2 weeks. You may make way more than that. You may make way less than that. That you follow along. And I know you might be thinking, what about if I have more bills than money? Girl, I have been there. We don't talk about that. So the first thing you want to do is your 4 walls. So remember, that's going to be your mortgage, your transportation, your food, groceries, the things that you really need to live and survive on a day-to-day basis. That's what gets allocated money first. Now, let me pause, because some of you have seen and watched my channel and you know I tithe. And so I've always tithed when I had money, when I didn't have money. And I'm going to be honest with you, my 10% of God is not even part of my budget. Technically it is, and I have a line item in my budget that says tithing, but I consider that money that I never see. So I go into this operating with 90% of my income. I'm not saying you have to. I do want to put that out there though for those of you who do. So the next thing after the 4 walls we're going to concentrate is going to be minimum debt payments. So if you own debt, student loans, credit cards, card notes, we're going to be putting that towards that. Now, a car note technically is transportation, but any kind of outstanding debt that you have, a loan that you took out, these are things that we want to go ahead and pay down. So that's going to be the second bucket that we're operating. And I'm going to show you a budget of $2,500 a month, or excuse me, every 2 weeks, so you can see what this would look like if we actually allocated everything to job. But I want to walk you through the process because I know that your income may look different. Now is going to be a small emergency fund starter. If you don't currently already have an emergency fund, we're going to start one. And it may take you one paycheck to get an emergency fund. It may take you 10 paychecks to get an emergency fund, but you need a small emergency fund, and I'll talk about that in just a second. The other piece that you're going to need is to address then your goals and lifestyle. So that is going to be, okay, at this point you have your transportation taken care of, you have your debt paid, you're contributing to an emergency. Now we start getting into the part of your life that is unique to you. That's your nails, that's your hair, that's going out to dinner, that's going to the movies, that's going to concerts. These are things that are your lifestyle, and or you may have goals. Maybe you're saving for a house. Maybe you're saving this lump sum of money because you need to put a child in college. Maybe you're starting a business. And then finally, the next one is going to be extra debt payoff or extra investing or savings. So you've already invested, you've already saved, you've already done some of that. Now, if there is anything left over after you have done everything else, we're going to dump it into additional debt, or we're going to dump it into additional savings. And you may be thinking, girl, I'm not even close to that. That is okay. Okay, so remember we talked about in the beginning of the video that your ultimate goal is to be 1 month ahead. And let me preface this. This took me probably a year to do. Like, it was not something that I was able to do immediately. And I started this zero-based budgeting when, number one, I was a single mom. It was just me. It was just my income, and I had 2 kids. And my credit was a hot mess. Crazy now to even think that my credit ever was at some point in my adult life not the best, but it was a hot mess. I didn't have any savings, and I was clearly living paycheck to paycheck. One of the things that happened to me is I ended up getting a promotion. I literally remember that day. It was enough money to start making some shifts in my lifestyle, and I was like, okay, can't mess this up. You got this might not come back around. You got to jump on this. And so the ultimate goal was, I had an emergency fund, so I had my $1,000 emergency fund. Then it was, okay, this little bit of extra money that's left over, I just kept pushing to the side, to the side, to the side. And so ultimately I had basically whatever I made in a month, I had that in savings. And then what was able to happen is then when I got paid, the money that I was getting paid wasn't to pay this month's bills. I was able to just let it sit in the bank. And even now, today, eventually what I do, so on the first, y'all, I pay all my bills at once. I pay the mortgage, we don't have car notes. I pay my insurance all in lump sums. I pay my tithe, I pay the electric bill, we pay the cell phone bill. I have a lot of things on auto pay at this point in my life, but everything for the month of August gets paid on August the 1st. I don't wait for get paid August 15th to then pay the second half of August's bills. And I want to say again and again and again, it took me almost a year to do that. It may take you way less time. It may take you longer, but there is definitely some freedom in being able to do that. Okay, so let's work an actual budget. So once again, assuming that we're getting paid $5,000 a month, and we get $2,500 in the first and $2,500 in the 15th. We're going to do a zero-based budget. So remember, here's our monthly category bills, and I'm going to go ahead and look over here because I want to make sure I get this right, and then I'm going to put it on the screen. So we've got our rent, we've got our electricity, water, gas, internet, phone, car payment, car insurance, gas, groceries, minimum debt payments. These are our needs. Then you have true expenses that are non-monthly but predictable. These are going to be like prescriptions, car repairs, home repairs, gifts, holidays, annual subscriptions, travel. These are things that may not have a set amount, but you absolutely know that they are inevitably coming around in your budget at some point. They do not catch you by surprise. And then you have your goals, which are going to be your emergency fund and then your 1 month ahead. So this next month buffer. And then lastly is your lifestyle, y'all. This is eating out, this is personal care, this is shopping, entertainment. And let me say something about this before we go into this hypothetical budget. I shared in my last video about money, and you guys asked me to create this video on how I budget. I'm not about deprivation. So somewhere in this budget, there's got to be something that's going to bring you joy. There's got to be something that is going to make going to work every day feel like it's not a chore, but it's the opportunity that allows you to do the things you want to do. However, I will also say there is some power and acceleration in sacrifice. When you sacrifice and you let certain things go, like that Starbucks or that DoorDash or, that massage, those things add up and eventually they give you freedom to do those very same things at a different level down the line in a way that is going to empower you. Okay, so let's talk about this sample budget that we've made. Okay, so this person is going to spend $1,650 on their rent or their mortgage, which is a decent chunk of $5,000. Electric, water, gas, we're gonna go with $220 in this budget. That we're making this up. The internet is $80 a month. Their cell phone is $90. Car payment is $350. Car insurance is $150. That's not due every month, but we're gonna set it aside because ultimately every 6 months this person is gonna pay their premium. Gas, that's fuel. We're gonna go with $200, even though probably filming this video today on July the 25th, that probably needs to be higher. Okay, and then debt payment. So let's say this person owes $600 on a credit card. We're gonna pay $80 during this paycheck down to that debt. Now there are expenses that are what we call sinking funds, or things, once again, that are reoccurring. So that could be medical. We're going to put aside $80. Car repairs. We may not have a car repair, but let's go ahead and put some money in the car repair fund. So in case something happens, that we have it there. Home and household, these are expenses that you would be buying. To me, I think of this as like dishwashing soap, detergent, things that you would need for your home. Gifts and holidays. This could look different depending on how much money you make. For me in my real life, I usually set aside $125 a month for this. My kids are a lot older, so I'm not necessarily, going to buying a whole bunch of toys and electronics and things like that. Annual subscriptions, like think of Netflix or your Apple, and then travel family fund. I love this because I think this is so important because traveling, I love to travel. So like when I go to the Saints games, I have a travel fund so that I have expenses to be able to go out to eat and go here and stay at this hotel, and then just miscellaneous buffer. So $50 for that. And then this person has some pretty ambitious goals. They're going to put $500 in an emergency fund. $500 in an emergency fund and $250 for the 1 month ahead fund. So if you think about this person bringing home $5,000, if they're putting $250 towards that, now they need to save another $47.50 to eventually be 1 month ahead of their bills. Okay, lifestyle flex, eating out $160, personal care $90, entertainment $50, clothing, shopping $60, fun money, miscellaneous $40. The other thing I'll say is that most people don't get paid all at once at the beginning of the month. So how would this look with 2 paychecks? So maybe when this person got paid on the first, the $2,500, $1,650 went ahead and went to the rent. $220 went to utilities, the internet was $80, the phone was $90, groceries, the first half of that $600 was $3. The first half of the gas or fuel was $100, and then emergency fund $50. 1 month ahead, they only put $10. But then that second paycheck for the month on the 15th, which is how most people live, payment is in the second half. Car insurance was in the second half. Groceries, the second half. Gas, the second half. Minimum debt payments, $80. True expenses, sinking funds. So here they are able to put a lot larger chunk into that fund. Emergency $450, 1 month ahead $240, lifestyle $400. So in this category, I showed you what it would look like if you just budgeted all $5,000 at once. But like I said, most people don't get paid like that. Most people get paid twice a month. And so you may have more bills than money. But I promise you this, if you start doing this, you will also start to see where your money goes. The very first time that I really did a zero-based budget, one of the most important things I could do for myself was see where I was already currently spending money, because I wanted to know what was I spending money on to be making decent money and never having money. And so this is how this works. So how often do I do this? So every month I budget, because remember, I'm a month ahead. So I am able to take the whole amount of money that I make and my husband makes, and I'm able to assign every dollar a job. And then I sit down every week, give or take, and I reconcile. So that is how I do my budget. I know this was probably a long video, but I really wanted you to see, number one, the why behind it, and then the practicality of getting it done. I promise you, if you take some time and energy to really sit back, acknowledge your money, prioritize your money, and then make a disciplined, concerted effort to spend your money in those assigned categories, you will see change, and the amount of money you will save will start to increase. So as always, I want to thank y'all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.